Hey guys, so I decided to make another video today because the market has been interesting in the last few hours. It's obviously nearly 10:30 at night here, so if my words are a bit slurred, please forgive me. And one thing I did note on the 15-minute time frame is obviously since I made my last video, we've had a nice little consolidation sideways. We've held the 68k breakout zone, which I'm really happy about. We've come back and retested the 33 fair value band, held it as support and had another pump up. Now, one thing to note is this pump here, around 1900 my time, so about 9 a.m. UTC time. Yeah, this pump here is weaker than this pump here, the Sunday night pump, the one caused by Trump's tweet. And the reason for that is because, firstly, it's a shorter move. Obviously, you can see it with your eyeballs. Secondly, it hasn't come up to the second standard deviation band, whilst this pump here has. Now, I haven't jumped on X or anything, so I don't know if there was a catalyst that caused this. Maybe there was, maybe there isn't. But if you just look at Elliott wave structure, you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern here. If I draw it here for you. Now, this obviously isn't going to be perfect, but you can sort of see something that looks like this. Now, obviously, wave 3 in this case was the largest and strongest wave. It doesn't have to be. It can be. It often is wave 5 with Bitcoin, and obviously in rare cases it can be wave 1. But one thing to note is if you have a look at where the bottom of wave 4 was, we were well above the top of wave 1. Like, we didn't even come close to retesting that 68k level. We came back to 68.7 and just got bought back up straight away and had another leg up. So one thing that I am watching for is a potential A, B, C correction, because that $68,000 level has not been retested. I think anything like this is possible. Now, obviously, if you jumped over to a 1 hour or 4 hour time frame, this entire pattern could look like this could potentially form a much larger Elliott wave, where this entire thing becomes a wave 1, and the entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 becomes a wave 1. This ABC becomes a wave 2, where we would still have a 3, 4, 5 to go. And obviously, I'm gonna jump over to the higher term timeframes in just 1 second to show you. And if we have a look on the 1 hour time frame, it's pretty much the same as the 15-minute time frame. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I use the 1 hour and the 15-minute pretty much the same. At the end of the day, they're pretty much telling you the same story. The 15-minute obviously gets you a better entry, whilst the 1 hour lets you see a slightly bigger picture. Now, one thing to note is on this 1 hour time frame, we are holding between the +1 and +2 standard deviation bands, which if you jump back and have a look through this trading range, when price is sitting between the +1 and +2 standard deviation band, it can pretty much just keep grinding upwards for another day or two, which is what I talked about in my previous video, where we may see another few days up. And obviously it has to come back and retest fair value eventually. Whether it manages to hold it as support and go for another leg up is obviously something we'll just have to wait and see. And if we jump over to the 4 hour time frame, you can see we are now 7 bars up on the Gann swing indicator, and we haven't actually managed to hit that +1 standard deviation band. And if we have a little zoom out, you can see typically when price fails to hit that +1 standard deviation band, ever since we've been in this trading range, typically we will pull back to either fair value or even as low as the -1 standard deviation band before we can actually make another leg up to test that +1 or +2 standard deviation band. Now, obviously, I would not want to see price action back underneath the fair value band, because that would be a failed fourth time breakout. If we come back down to, anything like $65,000 or so, we'd be taking out potentially these previous lows here. It would be a failed fourth time diagonal breakout, and typically a failed move up equals a fast move down, in which case I would be looking towards this smart money zone at around 63.5 and 62.7, as well as these two previous lows here, and this first capitulation bar before we had that final flush out. So I'd be looking towards that range. Now, one danger sign is we do have 3 wicks into this range already on the daily time frame. So if we come back down to around 63.5, 62.7, there's a very high chance it becomes a fourth time breakout, and we will see, the low, mid, or high $50,000 range get tested. So if we do see the $68,000 level, which is it an important 50% level? I think it was. I may have removed, oh yeah, there we go, right here, $68,000 level right here. It is the 50% level of this trading range. So obviously it lines up very well with the 4-hour fair value band. So any price action underneath, 68K, maybe wicks down to 67 would be okay, but I wouldn't want to see any closes or lower highs on even a 1-hour time frame underneath $68,000, because you can see that fair value band on the 1-hour time frame is also at $68,000. So obviously the 15-minute is way up here at like 69.4, but pretty much I really, really do hope that if we do get an ABC correction, like I suggested on the 15-minute time frame, we will hold this $68,000 level, and this entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 1 hour and the 15-minute time frame ends up becoming a wave 1. We see a wave 2 down to anywhere from 68 to 69K. I'd be pretty happy. And we'll hopefully see a wave 3 that takes us to, I'm really looking at 72K based off of this previous daily lower high off the 76K high. And hopefully we manage to hold Elliott wave structure. And if we get a reaction from 72K, we hold roughly 70K. And maybe we can see a wave 5 extension that takes us past 76K. Now, another reason for that 72K level, where I think we'll get some sort of reaction, is because that is the 1 month short max pain level on CoinGlass. It still has not changed. Now, to the downside, we've got 66.2, and obviously, as I said, any price action under 68K on a closing basis, or 67K on a wicking basis, is probably not great, because once you start to see those long max pains get taken out, typically the next max pain levels will also start to get hit. And if we take out 66K, we'll probably start hitting 65, then 64, then 63, and then we'll get a fourth time breakdown, and voila, the market goes to hell. You can see on the 2-week time frame, we've got 65.5 and 72.2, and obviously we've come. Have we smacked this $70,500 level? Not quite. So I do believe, since we've fallen just shy of short max pain on the shorter term time frames, the 1 day through to the 3 day, that will potentially see a temporary pause, especially because we've come into the 50 TMA from the other side. So even if we do manage to close above it, I do believe we'll potentially pause and chop sideways for a little bit before we can see another big move up, which would line up with my theory of an ABC correction over potentially the next day or two. Obviously, it doesn't have to happen. We can obviously just keep pumping, but I think based on the last few hours of price data since my last video, we will potentially see a correction. Now, if we do manage to close above the 50 TMA, that would be awesome. But obviously, we do have this overhead trend line to contend with. Now, I'm not going to talk anything really about the weekly or the monthly time frame, as not much has changed. You know, the swing direction was already up. We've gone up a little bit more. But you can see the $70,800 level has still not been retested just yet. So if this rally fails completely at $70,800, or, you know, we get a wick above and then a close back underneath, I will be on absolute red alert for a fake out. Now, obviously, that's not going to be enough for me to enter a major short trade, because what I'm looking for is 3 daily closes underneath the 50 TMA, a swing direction change, or a swing failure pattern on this fourth time breakout on the 4-hour and daily time frames. Now, obviously, I do believe we'll get that 3 closes under the daily TMA and a swing direction change before we start to see a failed fourth time breakout, because that's still, you know, $3,000 below where we are now. So if that does happen at all, because obviously you've got to keep both sides of the market in mind, we could just keep running up. Now, another thing that makes me think we'll probably pause a little bit is the long-short ratio. We are over 52% long, and our short liquidations has started to pick up based on this, last little pump in the last few hours. And if you remember my earlier video from today, that $270 million level for shorts is enough to put a pause in the trend. Like you can see here on the 13th of March and the 23rd of March. Now, I don't think this $270 million is enough to reverse the trend, like cause, you know, a daily downswing, similar to what we saw like here, or here. Like, I don't think we're gonna see, you know, the market just completely roll over and we go back to, you know, 66K, 65K and start to retest lower prices. Like, I don't think we've seen that 400 to 500 million liquidation level just yet, because you can see here, you know, the 4th of March top was 480 million of shorts. This 16th of March top was 416 million, and this 23rd of March top was 370 million. And obviously we pushed a tiny bit high on price, but that was a low volume rally. As Michael always says, low volume rallies to be treated with caution. So based off of that, I think we're very similar to this 13th of March day in terms of liquidations. We're a little bit low on the long side, but that's probably just because we're coming off a holiday weekend. Now, if you look on the 13th of March, we only paused for about a day before price resumed, and to the upside for, you know, another 1 to 3 days. And I do believe a 1-day pause would be enough for us to get this Elliott wave structure reset and potentially set us up for something that looks like this on the 4-hour time frame. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I am going to sleep now. Good night.